Hey everybody, this is Patrick from Sasquatch in the Wild, and this video is a short one, but it will be a little bit about Pareidolia and some of the odd things that I found in the park. And what to look out for in photographs. In this photograph, this was taken out at Hermit Park, and I know if I threw this up on Facebook, it would be ripped apart and people would be saying, oh, you're seeing things and blah, blah, blah. And, they would be right. And the reason why I want to do this is because it's easy to be fooled by photographs. Some photographs are legit. But when you start to really push a photograph, it becomes a problem child. And I'm going to push this photograph. There's an object right here that's sitting up in this tree. It's not actually sitting up in the tree. You're looking straight through it, or I'm looking straight through it. But when you zoom in on it, is this the actual photograph? I want to make sure I'm looking at the right photograph here. Oh, nope, may not be the right photograph, because that thing is blurred. Nope, that was it. Let's go back. Make sure what it is I was looking at. That's the one. Where's the other guy? Oh, I see it. Hi everybody, this is, oh shoot, this is not set up right. Try and get as much in view as possible. Okay. Hey everybody, this is Patrick from Sasquatch in the Wild, and I'm going to show you some Pareidolia effects with digital zoom. A lot of things on Facebook that people show, even though it's regurgitated crap that people are showing. They're saying it's new, it's not, it's old. It was so old that I saw it back in about 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and they're rehashing the same crap out now. But there's always new stuff that does come out, but a lot of people like me just don't want to show our stuff anymore because of people on Facebook and the trolls that roll around out there. So I'm going to show you a photograph. This picture in question was photographed when I was with Janice, and I was looking at this log that's here. But after I got home and I was looking at other things in this picture just to kind of poke around, it's fun to find oddities in photographs, and these are oddities, but you could portray it as Pareidolia. So this is the first thing we're going to look at. This looks like a head, kind of, sort of. You could say, well, that's the mouth, and that's the nose is in there, and you got the eye, and you got the hair. This would be a Donald Trump version of a Sasquatch, or Donald Trump meets the Grinch, because this would be a green Sasquatch. And what we're actually looking at is probably a rock face or grass that's back here that's dead on the hill. This is a stick sticking off this tree, and there's a lot of, even though it looks technically right, nope, there would be a big no on that one. You can find faces in just about anything, and one of the weird faces is this little guy right here. I was just kind of looking at it going, God, that looks like a little head. And if you look at it right, it looks like a little alien head looking at us. Darkened eyes right here. Perfect look. A little bit of light on the forehead and then the lower half of the face. But that's not what that is. That's probably a rock or a part of a tree that's way back in there. And it's super tiny. That's a super teeny weeny tiny thing. Other things in this picture. I'm going to see if we're going to pull the other ones out. Oh, were they? I was looking at one earlier. Oh, it's this guy. This thing right here. Yeah, no. Again, not a Sasquatch. This is just another bunch of pine needles all grouped together to make some weird shadowing. It kind of looks like a head looking down. A little bit of a shoulder. The lion's mane that I call them, that some of them have. Looks a lot like it, but that's not what that is. again, there's nothing in this photograph that's telling me that there's anything really there. And even dark things in trees doesn't mean that it's a Sasquatch. Like you could look up at, say, this stuff up here, the top of the tree. Looks like there's dark things here. Oh, is that a tree peaker? Probably not. That's just going to be something else that's there. Maybe another log, maybe other pine needles, maybe a part of a tree. You don't know until you go back in there and look around. And since I was so far away from this thing in the first place, it's kind of pointless. This is an oddity for a tree. I talked about it a little bit before. Indian markers we bring up sometimes, or I talk about. Indian markers are when First Nations used to walk around and bend trees so that way, or kind of mark them in a certain way so they could get around the cavalry and go undetected. Now this tree is an aspen, and aspens live for 15 years. So this is not an Indian marker. Aspens can bend like this, and they just do, and it's weird. It's really kind of strange that this was probably the leader, and for whatever reason, this part of it died off, and another leader was formed. And trees will create leaders on a whim, only to survive. Other structures. I was pretty sure that this was a structure. I may be thinking that it's not now. Even though I can see straight through this thing. And just because logs are cut, I used to be, or I was told in the beginning when I was with Sir, that Sasquatches don't mess with trees that have been cut. Well, this could have been cut after the fact. And so I don't believe this is necessarily a structure, even though it does look like a hunting blind. It does kind of fit the markers of a structure because there's a lot of weaving going on to make this interesting. But there is a lot of stuff going on here, and unless I can get back there and look at it, I'm going to hold this as a suspect object. But I'm thinking that it might be a slasher pile created by the Forestry Service. This other one down here that we saw, I saw this one actually first, and this one really caught my eye. This is a slasher pile. This is what the Forestry Service does to throw a bunch of logs in a pile. They're supposed to remove these things, and it's funny how often I find these things in the woods, even near parking lots, and this is kind of near a parking lot. This is probably about a good maybe 50 yards from the parking lot, and then this was just a little bit further away. This one has a little bit more structure to it. This just looks like a big pile of garbage just thrown on top of each other. And the more I look at it, I just think it's just an everyday slasher pile. I was looking at something back in here. I think I was looking at something here. I don't know what this is. I can't tell. My camera could not clean up an image well enough for me to see what that was. But it did look like there was something brown sitting down in that. Looks like a little dugout area back there. Even that picture still is blurry. It looks like that might be a cave or even a mine shaft. That could be a mine. Colorado has a million mines all over the place. One of the reasons why I like to fly drones is to see where those mines are so I don't fall into one. And Colorado is notorious for not covering up their mine shafts. So you could be walking along in a field of grass and disappear in 2 seconds, and you're falling, and you don't know how deep that mine shaft may be. Some mines can they'll dig shafts that will go as deep as 3 miles deep, and that's a long way to fall. I've been 1 mile deep in the earth at a mine when I was given permission to walk around with a tour group down there, and that was fun, but that was crazy too because it was hot down there. If Sasquatches are finding a way to get into the earth and to hike around, more power to them, because it is warm down there. The deeper you go, the warmer and hotter it gets. This feels like a structure. It feels like it. It looks like it. It kind of resembles what you call an asterisk. If there would have been another log going across this way, it would have been a perfect asterisk. But I don't see that. I see everything braced up against this tree that's right here. These dead logs here, I'm going to suspect that they are probably brought in and placed, because this is what Sasquatch likes to do. They like to create almost like a unique knot. You know, not like a knot that you tie your shoes with or tie up the garbage with, but they create this weird little setup where you got trees kind of intermixing around them, and they all hold a different part in place. At the very end of this park area, Janice and I came to this circle, and it was full of grasses, and it was protected areas. You couldn't walk out in it, even though I wanted to. Not allowed to do it, so of course I won't do those things. And we started looking around. Janice was still sitting in the truck because it started to rain on us a little bit. But I was taking photograph after photograph and was really paying attention to the grasses around us in this big open field. And I noticed that there was these areas where the grasses were pushed down, like something had been laying in there or sitting in the grasses. And it almost looks like a place where a large object like a moose, an elk, even a large person could have been sitting down in the grasses relaxing. And as we were pulling out, we started looking at these other objects up on the hillside, and one of them really looked like a very unique structure, and is placed in between two pine trees. And then I didn't notice it at first, and I took another picture of another object, and the skies were coming in kind of dark and crazy, and I took some pictures of that and decided that was it. But when I got home, just like you got to wonder about Pareidolia, there was an object pinned between these two pine trees next to that object, like a structure. And I kind of zoomed in on it, and I just kept zooming in on it. And is it Pareidolia? For right now, it is. Unless I can get back out there and take photographs of that, that's how it's going to stand. It'll be Pareidolia. So, my name is Patrick, and this is Sasquatch in the Wild. And next video should be out on Wednesday. But we'll see, because my schedule is changing once again. So, I might miss a video on Wednesdays. Hopefully not, but I might. But we'll see. Again, my name is Patrick. This is Sasquatch in the Wild. I hope you're enjoying the journey, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.